Almost live. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Tripp Smokepit. Tonight we're talking again to my buddy Ohrstrom, who is an Army veteran, a professional wrestler, filmmaker, and a whiskey wizard. How you doing tonight, man?
Whiskey wizard. I like that. I like that.
You sent me this bottle of whiskey, and I told you I wasn't going to try it until now. So, or you were asking me if I would not try it until now. I mean, either way, thank you, and let's do this. But how's it going on your end, man?
I've been waiting actually for this moment for you to crack that bottle because I wanted to get your natural reaction to trying it because we talked about it before, and the bourbon's been taking off pretty well. We've grown. We're actually when we first talked, we were only in I want to say 2 cities in Texas, and now we're in 9 and 18 stores.
Nice.
And yeah, and it ranges from El Paso to Houston. So we're across. So it's been going good, man. It's been going good. We're actually it's going so good. I'm not gonna lie. Of our batch that we did, we're starting to run on the low side of things. So we're prepping to get the next batch ready. I'm gonna do a bottle design change and a bottle style change. For those of you who've had the bourbon, it's a twist top, and we kind of did that because that was the only thing at the time that was available. We could get the bourbon out on time, but we're going to go with the cork bottle next time and a new design, which I'll send you offline. It's not proved yet, so that's why I don't want to put it out there yet.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know they made a whiskey with cork bottles. I thought that was. Well, I guess Jameson. You mean like Jameson or Jack would have?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, a lot of whiskeys and bourbons have corks.
Yeah, well, let's see. When you said cork, though, I thought wine. I was like, I don't know if I've ever had that. Do I need to get my cork screwed up? What are you drinking tonight? You joining me with the blood of your enemies?
I did. I have a juice, but I did do a shot in there because I felt it was the right thing to do a shot with you. Right. Put it in there. So, hey, before I forget, we got to say hi to a mutual friend of ours.
Oh, hey, whatever, Amy. What's up?
She's, if you saw, she did a cool thing for the bourbon, and she really liked it. She sported some merchandise for us, and that was really cool of her. And I'm a fan of hers, and hopefully we can work together again.
Yeah, no, she was cool. I had her on, probably 2 months ago now. It was fun. Mm-hmm. And then I got some pictures together. I just haven't, put them up yet because I figured, space them out. But, had to do them with the bottle full before anything else in case something happens and I end up drinking this whole thing the next hour. But
well, that's actually why when I saw her on your show, that's why I reached out to her to do something. Yeah, it was your show that brought that networking together.
Really? I found her on Twitter somewhere, and it was somebody who was following her because like Twitter shows you what other people like for some fucking reason. But I was like, boobs. I'll follow that.
All right, man. Well, let me get your feedback. It won't hurt my feelings if you don't like it, I promise.
No. It's almost got a rye taste to it. And I can dig that. I don't know if I could drink it straight all night, but How
do you like the finish?
It's not too barky. It's not like Jack where it gives you that like almost heartburn fucking feeling in your fucking throat afterwards. But then again, that might be kind of an unfair assessment because Jack Daniels didn't do that to me until I turned 30. And then like now it's just like one shot and you're just having a bad night because your esophagus is fucking dead.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. One of the things I'm proudest about with that bourbon is the finish. It's pretty smooth, not a lot of bite on it.
Yeah.
But it's a good another thing I'm really proud of it with is you can either sip it or you can mix it. Either way, you're fine.
We'll see. We'll test them both, man.
Yes, please let me know, please. I've had quite a few people reach out to me, say it's their daily drink now when they're, it's springtime, weather's getting better. They're out in the backyard, they pour a shot or a glass and indulge. It's really nice to hear. I've met a lot of really nice people, a lot of really, really crazy, intelligent bourbon connoisseurs. I didn't really understand the level of not obsession, but like passion a lot of these bourbon people have. It's crazy. They know a lot about the different kinds of bourbon, and it's fun to pick their brain on different stuff.
Well, since you had picked their brain a little bit, so can you illustrate to me, like paint me a picture, what really differentiates, say, bourbon, rye, Scotch, Irish whiskey, Canadian whiskey Like, because they're all technically whiskeys, but they're their own regional flair.
Yeah. What was the category? Remember those categories again?
Just the different kind of whiskeys in general.
So, like, okay. So the bourbon, to be classified as bourbon, first of all, bourbon only can be made in America. Like, you won't have international bourbon. The bourbon, I want to say, and it's been a long week, so forgive me, but I want to say it has to be distilled in like a mash that's 51% corn, and it has very specific standards to it. Whiskey's a little bit more liberal, and there's a difference between the whiskey with the EY and the whiskey with the Y. And again, it's been a long week. One of them is from Canada and Japan, and one of them's from Ireland. I want to say Irish and Scottish whiskey. Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah, I got a bottle of Jameson across the room, but I can't read the bottom of the label, so I can't really confirm that for you right now. Although I do get down on Jameson. There's this Irish author buddy I have him on. I have him on the show every once in a while, and it's always a very bad fucking time because like we get like into it and stop paying attention to how much we drank, and then we'll drink about a bottle of Jameson in an hour and a half, and then we're like, all right, buddy, I gotta go. And my wife finds me somewhere in the house the next day.
So whiskey is if it's the EY, it's United States and Ireland. If it's just the Y, it's Scotland and Canada. I know Japan's in there too, but I can't remember which one. It's been an interesting.
Scotland and Ireland would be the same spelling.
I'm sorry.
You would think that Scotland and Ireland would have the same spelling.
I agree. You would think to be the same.
Aren't Irish or vice versa, but I mean, the Scots are more Irish than they are English.
Yeah. Okay. I follow. Yeah. No, you have a valid point. Let's start going back. Yeah, like I said, it's been crazy because I've talked to like people who have worked in distilleries, people who have just been fans. Like, just to pick their brain on different stuff is fascinating. It's like there's not really a right and wrong way. There's just so many different ways to do this. It's been crazy cool, but it's very hard as a business side because there's a lot of laws with hard alcohol and.
Yeah, you can't just make it in your basement and sell it on the street, you know?
No, and also like, it's not like beer where, at least in Texas, where like you can self-distribute. You can't do any of that. You have to get a distributor. And like for me we've been getting a lot of requests actually from Michigan and Ohio, and people are like, mail it to me. I'm like, I can't do that, dude. That's illegal. Like I'll lose like all of my permits, like and everything if I do that. So
yes, I drove down to Texas to get
So we got to find a distributor there who can carry it and then get it in stores up there, which we're trying. It's just an uphill battle. It's hard to compete with like Bullet Bourbon and down in Texas we got Balcones and Jack and Jim Beam and all that stuff. They have such big money and influence. Like we're such a small thing
people will be like brand loyal for stuff too. So like they'll be drinking the same bottle of Cuddy Sark they've been drinking since they were 12 and ain't your mind about it. Like like I'm like that with rum. I will try any rum, but at the end of the night, if it ain't Sailor Jerry, then I'm not taking it home.
Truth be told, I've never tried Sailor Jerry yet.
It's good. Imagine Captain Morgan, but for the enlisted.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can go with that.
And you end up having the same attitude with it at the end of the night. It's like, all right, listen, I'm going to fight or fuck something, and if I can't find someone to fight or fuck, I'm going to go home and then fight and fuck myself.
Oh, yes, to be enlisted again. I was going to tell you, we're almost done with the copyright process on the Valhalla Club script. When we talked, I had submitted it. And they had some questions on it, but it looked like it's about to be finally writ, however the sense is.
I don't know, but for people listening at home though, that started off with a short film you made that's on Amazon.
Yeah. For those listening at home, it's 2011. So 4 years ago, I produced a documentary called The Valhalla Club, and it follows 3 Iraq combat veterans who use pro wrestling to deal with PTSD. And we made it on a shoestring budget. I often refer to it as like my Clerks, because it was just done with just passion and little money. And they caught fire. We got on Sports Illustrated, Rolling Stone. We were on Good Morning America, a bunch of newspapers. We were on the premiere episode of Klepper. And then from there, I went and I wrote the actual screenplay because we're trying to get it produced into an actual like movie. So before I can sell it to Universal or Paramount or Amblin or whoever, I have to have the script copyright to make sure Hollywood doesn't take my stuff, change some names, make it a multi-billion-dollar movie, and I don't get anything out of it.
Yeah, so. And yeah, it's you really do need to cover your ass with that paperwork with that, because like I know a lot of like indie authors who don't copyright their books before they put them out, and it's like, are you fucking insane? They're like, well, nobody's ever gonna read this. Like, yeah, but all it takes is that one person to fucking read it.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's, next thing I know, I'm sitting in a movie theater and I see a trailer. It's Valhalla Club with Chris Hemsworth, and I'm like just staring confused, So.
No, even worse. It's Jonah Hill and Michael Cera.
Oh my! I would have to watch that because I'd be so perplexed.
Yeah, me and my buddy, we make jokes about that, but we really want to see a remake of The Predator. But Arnold Schwarzenegger's character would be played by Jonah Hill, and then God damn it, Carl Weathers would have been Michael Cera, just like run around the friggin' desert. Get some like nerd to play the Predator, so instead of like making all these weird noises, click, 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 I'm gonna get you.
It sounds like just be more uncomfortable than anything. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to picture them running through with like 50 cals, or Jesse the Body Ventura had that big ass Gatling gun that he was trying to mow down the forest with when he was chasing Predator. I'm trying to picture one of them carrying that.
Yeah, no.
I could watch it.
Yeah, what I think's great about that movie though is like absolutely nothing fucking makes sense in it. You just have to like pretend like you don't know shit to enjoy that movie. Not that I'm saying that I don't love it. I fucking love that movie, but like what Jesse Ventura, that minigun shot like what 1,000 rounds a friggin' minute. It was probably 7.62. Like how much did his fucking backpack weigh? Like I get it, he's a big dude, but you just carried that a day through the fucking jungle. Nah, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, buy the ticket, take the ride, and it is Jesse the Body Ventura, so he was a SEAL.
Oh God, yeah, that and what is it? They, most of those guys were also in The Running Man too, right? Or
yes,
Jesse and Schwarzenegger.
Jesse and Schwarzenegger were, yeah, that was like the 80s was like the heyday for like movies that like really make little to no sense. They're just like, fuck it, let's do it. Like a lot of cocaine was done, and then they're just like, yeah, we'll figure it out there.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the way to do it. Like, do you think we would have gotten Top Gun without cocaine? Like, granted, there wasn't any in the movie, but like, you're not going to tell me that back when they were writing the script, they're like, all right, I got this idea. What is it? We're going to take Tom Cruise, and then we're going to put him in an Air Force plane. What about the Navy? Even fucking better.
All right, real quick, answer one of your questions. Is a fat Jonah Hill or fit Jonah Hill? It would have to be fat one, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. and then for whatever reason, we have to get Michael Cera jacked.
Oh, just get him on the Winstrol and just have him put on some Magic Mike weight.
Or not even that. Like, just have him do only chest and biceps.
No legs.
Well, no, he's got the little tiny back of the arm and then like no back, just like I'm all up front, guys. How you doing?
That'd be so awkwardly disproportionate. How can you can even suspend imagination in that kind of situation?
I mean, sure, there's a way. Although, like, was it the newer Predator movies? I don't know if you've seen them or not. Like the Alien versus Predator ones were bad, but was it Predators with? Oh God, I forget what the dude's name was. Adrian Brody, and then The Predator. I wouldn't call them good, and I'm never going to buy them on DVD, but I think they were worth watching once.
Yeah, they were worth watching ones. I watched those with my sons. We had a good time with those. Because then Danny Trejo was in that one too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, those are good watch ones. Yeah, Alien versus Predator. That first one, I think I was downrange when it came out. I want to say I remember watching it like such high hopes, and I was so disappointed. So disappointed.
I was in middle school when that came out. How old are you, man?
39. Thank you for reminding me.
Catching up with you. Don't worry.
Jesus. So hey, so I was curious because I see you've been pumping out work and stuff. Your saga. do you have an end to it, or are you just gonna write until you have no more? Are you doing the George R. R. Martin thing and just like fuck it, I'll whatever, but or do you doing the J.R.R. Tolkien and be like it's only gonna be X amount of books?
Both.
Okay.
No. So the main story, right? Like there's 6 out. I'm wrapping up the 9th one now, and I'm going to drop 7, 8, and 9, all like back to back, about a month apart. Ride that algorithm. But the main saga, I'm going to end at 12, and like I already have everything planned out for what I want to do for it. But there's also like other books I want to write that are in that universe, but aren't those characters. Like, because some people were like, "Hey, I really like this character. I mean, it sucks that you killed him halfway through this book. I would like to know more about him." And it's like, well, I can't add him anymore in this because he's dead. But if you guys would read a book about it, I'll write a book about what he did before that.
Same SSD says we write a great script for the Predator movie. I think it'd be definitely fun. I'm not gonna lie about it. It'd be fun. It'll be a little off the wall.
Yeah, except for like it's kind of like remake it again, but kind of make it like the Expendables, but with like 80s and 90s like friggin' pro wrestlers. So it's Hulk Hogan, and like Triple H, and then like Ric Flair is the Predator for whatever reason.
Oh, you're just walking along the jungle. You just hear that woo in the distance. Yeah, crazy. That should be fun, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of the 80s and 90s pro wrestlers left.
No, because like what, Macho Man's been dead for what, fucking 10 years now?
I think over that, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm drawing a blank. Somebody else just recently passed away. I think Harley Race passed away last year as well. Yeah, they're all just it's that time, man.
Although to be absolutely fair about that, I read an article about something Ric Flair was doing a couple months ago, and I was like, he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, he's still alive. He's doing something on TV not too long ago.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, he's the only. I don't know. I always tell people because I was, I did, for those who don't know, like I was a pro wrestler. I did it for 2 decades, and like it takes a toll on your body. Ric Flair doing this in the 70s. I'm just like staring in disbelief. Like, I legit worry that he's gonna get a serious injury out there. And I know he's got the passion for it and all that and whatever, but it's like, oh Jesus! Like, I never want to be doing it past 40. A lot of people keep doing it. I don't get it. It hurts your body a lot. But he's gonna do it till the day he dies. Mark my words. He's gonna do it till the day he dies.
But there was one article I was reading about him, and it was kind of like one of those tell-all things. And he was saying that, especially in the 80s, the only thing he did when he wasn't like working out was like cocaine and jerking off. And I was like, one of us, one of us, one of us.
I just picture like Vince McMahon like hearing that and be like, "The fuck, get him in here!" You can't say that, Jesus. Oh, fucking Ric Flair.
Has Vince McMahon ever done like his own like wrestling, or has he always just been like the owner crony guy that jumps in for show every once in a while?
No, he's done it a few times. I mean, he hasn't done it in a minute. I mean, I think the dude's over 80 now, but
he's looking good for being that old.
Oh yeah, no doubt. He's the fucking most jacked senior citizen I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he hasn't done it in a minute. He used to every now and then. It's a special promotion thing. It was a good draw for him back in the day when they're doing the Austin feud because it was boss versus employee, and who didn't want to see their boss get beat up? You know what I mean? Like, it was, and with the money they were making at the time, I don't blame Vince at all for getting in that ring. It's like, I'm selling out 60, 70,000 seat arenas weekly. Like, fuck yeah, kick my ass, pay me.
Yeah, and they're doing that like 2-3 times a week because you had Raw, and then you had shit. What was the other WWF one? That was
SmackDown.
SmackDown. That's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't get to watch SmackDown a lot just because my schedule when I was a kid. But like Raw, me and my dad, what's up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Raw's been on for shit, man, 30 years almost.
Yeah, I remember watching like D-Generation X fighting like this new young hip bad guy, The Rock.
Oh, geez. That's way back in the day. Nice. Hey, how's your guitar playing going?
It's going good. I put out a new EP about a month ago. It's only got 4 songs on it, but it's kind of doing what it's doing. Wish I had more time for it, but like I'm taking like 2 of my classes right now are both like studio art classes. So like it's like, hey, all right, each piece you're gonna be working 12 hours a week on these, and I got 2 classes for that. And then my other 2 classes are very like writing intensive, and he thinks that reading 100 pages a night is light homework. So
Okay.
So
All
not
right.
a lot of time for that, but I mean, whip it out.
Well, circle back to the guitar thing real quick because you just said something. I'm curious on your because we didn't talk about this last time. So when so I went through grad after military. I got out when I was 24. I got my bachelor's degree and then got my grad work done using the post 9/11 and stuff. I'm curious on your take though. You being veteran, being in college now, what is that culture difference like being in with students now? Being the experience you've been through Afghanistan and Iraq and Marines and 29 Palms and all that BS, and now you're sitting in Penn State uh, talking to people of all different backgrounds, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it hasn't been too hard of an adjustment because like I was in for 12 years, so when I got out, well, my last 6 months I didn't do shit. I just fucking straight up shit bagged it. But before that, I was a E5 or the sergeant, but I was also like the ops chief and the staff NCOIC and the platoon sergeant. So I was used to dealing with 18-year-old fucking idiots all day. So the way I treat it at school is like, not my circus, not my monkeys, not my responsibility. And then I rarely ever get into a fucking conversation they're having just because it's either completely asinine or something that you would talk about when you're fucking 19. And it's like, I can't even identify with what the fuck they're talking about. So I'm just going to do my work, not pay attention to that shit. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because like I always heard these stories about the conflict of the student who hadn't seen too much of the world versus veteran and the perspective of stuff. I didn't encounter any of that in college. Like I just kept to my own, barely talked to anybody. I mean, made conversation with people, but like there was never that friction or whatever. So I was just always curious about other people's experiences on that. I didn't have it.
Yeah, no, the only people I like really talked to in college at all were my buddy Dylan, who just by fucking freak chance was a guy that used to be in my platoon in California. And then
Oh
like
shit.
walking to class together, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. He goes Ainsworth, and then like I hear somebody called me Ainsworth, and I stop for a second. I'm like, nobody's gonna be fucking calling me that here. Must be somebody else. And I hear it again. I turn around. I'm like, Dylan, what the fuck? Just weird freak coincidence that we're both there. And then this other guy, I think he graduated last year. I haven't seen him in a minute. And he was a army vet, and he told me that he was a fucking specialist when he got out, but he's like 35. And then when he added me on Facebook, he had like master sergeant shit on his uniform. So I was like, all right, cool, flying under the radar, man.
Right on, right on. Right on. I was asking about the guitar because I picked it up over the holidays and I've just been fiddling with it. It's been a really good therapeutic experience. I'm trying to figure out more of the Spanish style guitar.
Yeah.
Uh, I only play acoustic. I haven't got an electric one yet, but those first couple weeks, man, those fucking my fingers, man, they were bleeding like a motherfucker getting those blisters and
Oh yeah,
calluses going.
I mean, it's they're out for that, man. Like it's like wearing a glove almost afterwards. But yeah, no, get playing guitar is like just like anything else. You're gonna suck at it until you put time into it to not suck at it, and then you'll slowly get better at it as you go.
Right.
And that also, depends on how much you put into it. Because like a lot of people will go buy like a fucking guitar and be like, I'm gonna learn how to play guitar, and then they'll fuck with it for like 2 hours over the course of a month and be like, I couldn't pick it up. And it's like, well, yeah, no shit, because like you didn't fucking do anything with it.
Right. Right. No, it definitely takes patience and practice. Absolutely. It's people that I don't know. It's always kind of bewildering. People want to pick it up and all of a sudden be the next Joe Satriani or Eric Johnson or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a crazy skill.
But those guys, though, like it's unfair to judge yourself to those guys because by the first time you have heard them, and I don't mean like the first time you heard them, but like the earliest piece of music that they made that you'll ever hear, they've been playing guitar for 10, 15 years before they got to the point where they're recording shit,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. No. Yeah. You're very right about that.
And like a lot of those dudes were like, "Oh yeah, no, my dad got me a guitar when I was 6, or I picked one up at a pawn shop when I was 13, and I was gonna, flip it for drug money, but I decided to fucking play it instead. And hey, now I'm here, man." It's like, all right, good for you, dude.
Yeah, that was a good choice. That was a good choice. If you want to hear a bad choice, I'll tell you. After we last talked, I think it was October. I almost bought a shit ton of GameStop stock, and then I was like, "No, there's nothing in this company, man. It's going downhill. Like, there's no." And I was like, "There's just no. I don't see it ever picking up." And goddamn, was I wrong. God damn, was I wrong.
Well, I mean, that's like a freak thing, though. Like,
it was a freak thing
going to happen.
Yeah, no, yeah, and it wasn't because of their business practice, but like, I'll just say it like this: like, I missed out on a over $150,000 train by not investing in that. I'm just like, one of these days, I'll catch that. I'll catch that ride. One of these days.
One of them.
God, yeah, that still stings me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of surprised that GameStop isn't doing better than it is, though. Just all the fucking shit that's going on with COVID and people like staying at home playing video games all the time is like, you would think that would have raised a little bit more than it had.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. And the syntax of why it all went up has nothing to do with business practices, but I just it has its leverage in the market, and I think I wouldn't surprise me at all, to be candid with you, if like Amazon or Microsoft buy it out to have it as like kind of like their outreach store for their products for the consumer. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But I mean, I think they're doing okay. Like their stock seems stable now, whatever the war is going on over it. But yeah, that still stinks.
Yeah, I mean, because like Amazon doesn't have that many physical stores, but yeah, no, that would make sense for them to, if they did buy it out, because like you could buy video games off fucking Amazon anyway. Like if they just made it to go to, and like even if they just like kept it GameStop and just like became its like parent company, like that would make sense to me.
Shifting back to the drinks real quick. What is your preferred hard alcohol? Is it rum? Is it whiskey? Is it bourbon? Is it scotch?
If I'm mixing it, I want spiced rum. If I'm drinking it straight, Jameson.
Okay.
So or like some other type of whiskey. Although this I think I might have mixed it wrong. There's also a lot of ice in here, but might be a little bit better straight than it is with Coke. But that's just my take on it so far.
Okay. I was just curious because like I've always been intrigued by rum and tequila, and I don't drink tequila because it just makes me sleepy, very sleepy. But like I've always thinking about if the bourbon does pretty well over the next year and a half, I was thinking about investing in and starting something else like I said, tequila or rum. It's interesting because rum is a very niche market. Like people either love it or they just don't mess with it. I've noticed tequila, kind of people a little bit more picky on the tequilas, and I don't know too much about that. But one of those two, I think I'm going to go into.
Well, I mean, like rum though, you have to decide if you want to go with light rum or dark rum because they're two completely fucking different markets. Because like was it like Captain Morgan and Bacardi? Like you're gonna find very few people that will like both of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
like,
okay.
Like Bacardi or like the light rums, that stuff you mix into well, for lack of a better term, like the fruity pink girl drinks. And granted, I will drink the shit out of those because they taste delicious and there's a lot of fucking alcohol in them. And like, you want to call me something for drinking a pink drink? Well, fucking fight me. But like say like a Captain and Coke or like a Sailor Jerry and Dr. Pepper, which by the way, that drink is called a Corman. They're fucking great drinks. But I would never drink white rum by itself. Like I would have to mix it with something.
Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Are you a tequila person?
Yes, I am a tequila person. However, everyone that has had tequila with me tries to either keep it away from me, or if they are bored that night, they shove it down my throat, and then something gets set on fire, or something gets fucked, or something gets fought, or I go home, fuck myself, fight myself, and then set myself on fire.
You ever break out in handcuffs, as they say?
No, but let me regale you with the full fucking story on this, right? So I was
Please
in,
do.
and it was right after I got out. I was driving back over here, or I was driving to the East Coast from California, and I stop in Houston, and I end up at my buddy's, like the bar next to the bar that he ran, and it was just a bar, like they didn't have food or anything. And I got a pretty nice severance package coming out of the Marines, so it was like, hey, bartender lady, I want oysters. And then she's like, we don't have oysters here. And I was like, how many of these things do I have to get you to get me oysters? And then come back with fucking oysters, and we got shit housed. Anyway, fucking my buddy was supposed to go do something with his girlfriend that night, but like I rolled into town a day early, so he texts her and goes, hey, my buddy just showed up, I'm sorry. I'm not canceling, the date, but I got to cancel what we're going to do. But if you come here, my buddy, me, is buying all night, so you can get fucked up for free. So she swears him out over the phone. He hangs up the phone, says whatever. And then right after we pay our tab to go to a different bar, she shows up in the fucking parking lot, fucking screaming at him. And like my buddy Jack, he's like fucking 6'2", like a little chubby, but like mostly just fucking yoked. And this girl's like 80 fucking pounds, like 4'9" maybe. And she's like punching up at him, like in the fucking face. And at first he's like swatting his hands away, just like stop, stop, stop. And then she punched him in the balls. So he grabs her by the neck and like lifts her off the fucking ground. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. So like I have to like choke Jack out, right? And his girlfriend fucks off. And then like he comes to, he's like, what happened? He's like, you were choking your girlfriend, so I choked you out. And he goes, oh. Okay, all right, yeah, good call. Like I was in the wrong there. So we're getting up ready to leave, and then like the fucking cops pull into the fucking parking lot, and this is like a big strip mall thing. So like they're still like 100 yards away. So we're like, fuck. So we run into one of the other bars, and then the cops go to the bar that we were at, and then I guess somebody told them that they saw us going to this one, so the cops start coming towards us, and we go out the back of that bar, go down a few buildings, not buildings, but like doors in the fucking strip mall establishment, whatever, in the back door, come back out, and then on the way to the car, take a selfie with the cop car, fucking background, and then we get to the car, and then we're like, I can't find my keys, which is good because I'm too drunk to fucking drive, but fuck. And then we kind of stumbled around for a bit, got an Uber. We went to this place called Colorado's, which is this weird fucking strip club. It's like half the size of like a small Walmart, and it's decorated like a hunting lodge from the Old West. But I go to the fucking ATM machine and pull out like $500 because fuck it. I'm drunk. I have fuck you money right now, and I want to see some fucking titties. I'm gonna make some girls' night. Anyway, I sit down at the fucking stage. This girl comes out. She looks like Wendy, like from Wendy's, like with the fucking hair and freckles.
Oh, okay.
Music starts playing. She pulls off her fucking shirt. Her boobs pop out. She's like a good 10 feet away from me. I projectile exorcist vomit hit this woman in the chest from 10 fucking feet away. And she's just standing there like mortified, like still boob in hand, like can't move because she's like, what the fuck? I see the fucking security guards coming, so I take all $500 and go, I'm sorry, ma'am. I have extended my welcome, put the money down and fucking bounce. And then I wake up like 3 days later at a different friend's fucking apartment. So I haven't woken up in handcuffs, but I have evaded.
Yeah, give me a minute to process that one. I hope a similar story like that's in one of your books.
Maybe.
We'll say that's a second. Same SFC asset. Any favorite whiskeys? I just want to address that real quick. My favorite whiskey is Bullet Bourbon, but I do like Hooten and Young. They're out of Florida, and it's everybody knows. Oh, not every. That's unfair to say. If you are familiar with Black Hawk Down in the Mogadishu situation '93, the doc in there, Eric Bana's character was Hoot. The guy who that's modeled off of is a real dude. His name's Hooten, and that's his line. That's it, and it's a really, really good drink, and he actually does a lot to help veterans out in Florida too. So Hooten and Young and Bullet Bourbon are my two preferred.
I thought Eric Bana's character was one of the Delta Force dudes that died on the bird.
Eric Bana's character did not die on the bird.
I haven't seen that movie in a while, so I might mix people up.
It's crazy. Like I watched. I haven't seen that movie in a hot minute. It was a little rough to watch after coming back from Iraq, but I didn't realize the amount of like A-list actors that were in that movie.
Oh, yeah, like everybody was in that. Like,
everybody.
Tom Hardy was in that before he was famous.
Hardy was in there?
Yeah, Tom Hardy was in that. He was the he had a bunch of writing on his helmet. He hung out with Ewan McGregor.
Oh shit.
I think he was the guy that went. No, he wasn't the guy that went deaf. He was the guy that was like in the same buddy team as the guy that went deaf.
Okay. I didn't realize that one of the Delta snipers that went in after Chief Warrant Officer Durant was the brother from Game of Thrones, the Lannister dude, Jaime Lannister.
Really?
Yeah, like there's so many like weird A-listers that are all tied into that movie. It's crazy to me.
Huh.
It's great if you play 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, which is a great drinking game if you ever indulge in that one. Have you ever played 6 Degrees?
Yeah, I have. However, I don't know if that's like really around anymore. Like, I'm sure that Kevin Bacon is still acting, but I mean, anybody younger than us wouldn't know too many movies that he was in. And then, like with me, when you say Kevin Bacon, the first thing I think about is Tremors. So,
it's a classic. God, I love that movie. Yeah, if you want to spice it up, just take Kevin Bacon out of it and just pick two actors, see if you could do it. Yeah. And then, both people bid. Somebody does in 6, somebody does in 5. If they can do it in 5, the loser drinks. It's a fun way to pass the time.
Yeah. Shit. Now I'm like pulling a complete blank on anything else. Like, what is
Kevin Bacon?
Yeah. Well, he was in that Invisible Man movie, Hollow Man.
Hollow Man. Yeah.
Was he Footloose or was that Patrick?
Oh, he was Footloose. He was Footloose.
What was the Patrick Swayze one that was like that?
Dirty Dancing.
Nobody puts baby in a corner. I knew it was one of those.
And then he was in Sleepers, where he was that pedo security guard, and he was in Stir of Echoes and
that was a fucking movie.
Few Good Men for you Marines.
Yeah, Stir of Echoes. That was the one where like the daughter of the previous house owner was like buried in the wall or some shit.
Yep.
Yeah, that was creepy. I haven't seen that in a fucking hot minute either.
That was creepy. I remember that some band did a really good cover of Painted Black. I can't remember the fuck dude that was though. That was a really good cover. I remember that. That was filmed in Chicago when I lived there. Yeah, Kevin Bacon did a lot, but Tremors is one of my all-time favorites. That movie is just a classic.
Did you ever see the third or fourth one where they're in the Old West, and it's like a prequel, but it's like 100 years before, and I don't think Wyatt Earp was in it, but it maybe Doc Holliday was like one of the characters or whatever. They're having this all these problems in the Old West. They're in this town, gets cut off for whatever reason because the graboids or whatever name they gave them in that movie, had cut everything off. They're doing their big showdown thing, and like the rich guy goes and buys this fucking like big cannon that they're gonna like shoot the worms with, and the Mexican dude's like, man, this is gonna be just like the Alamo, and somebody's like, we lost the Alamo, and the Mexican dude's like, no, he didn't.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't. Because on the second one, when Bacon wasn't in anymore, I just checked out. I thought that first one was just a fun one.
Yeah, and yes, same. Starting First Class, I can see these, and Generation Kill. I love Generation Kill. I don't think it was like accurate to military life, but it was closer than almost anything else has been.
Is that the one of the Marines in Iraq?
Yeah.
All right. I've just never gotten around to sitting down on that one because that was on HBO. I want to say, right?
It was real good.
Okay. It's Skarsgård is in there, right?
Yeah. He plays one of the squad leaders.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard good things. I just had to sit down and watch it.
No, it's good. I definitely recommend that. I would say it's not like on par with Band of Brothers, but it is on par with the Pacific. If you've seen that,
oh really?
Different, completely different attitude because the Pacific was like that more somber thing, and I think they were trying to be a little like they were trying to be respectful with Generation Kill, but whoever wrote it had a really good sense of humor. And it's funny because the way that it's painted is that all the enlisted dudes were hot shit and all the officers were fucking dumb fucks. But except for one of the officers, I forget if his name was Fink or Fick. I think it was Fick. He was all right, boot lieutenant, but he was all right, and everybody else is all fucked up. But that Fick guy wrote a book called One Bullet Away, and in his book, he was talking about how when they invaded Iraq, all the enlisted dudes knew all their shit, and he was the only officer that wasn't a complete fucking retard. I was like, oh, hey, look, I got 2 pieces of work that fucking corroborate that.
All right. I'm going to put you on the spot here. I have a question for you. Okay, so with my bourbon, I don't know if you saw the message on the back of it. For those who have not had a chance to indulge in the Blood of My Enemies bourbon, the whole it's beautiful. The whole thing about Blood of My Enemies is I had a lot of failures in life. I own a brewery that failed for some reason. You think veterans and beer goes hand in hand. It failed. I dealt with a lot of failure in my life. And I kept pushing, and then eventually succeeded with the bourbon.
Well, I mean, that's how it works though. Like fucking, that's kind of how it works with everything. But people don't see the fucking like extreme fucking risks you go through, the fucking like heartbreak you go through with the fucking shit, the falling on your fucking face, the fucking AIDS and the fucking stitches. They only see you after you already did the fucking cool thing.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like, I mean, like I've been humbled so many times coming to this. With the bourbon. But so the whole thing about the bourbon is it's dedicated to any man and woman who has been told they can't do something, or people try to get in the way of them doing something, and they've overcome and they've succeeded. As I mentioned, I was a pro wrestler for 20 years. People didn't think I would do anything in pro wrestling, and I got the WWE for a little bit. People didn't think I'd last 4 weeks in the military, and I did 4 years in the combat tour in Iraq. People didn't think the bourbon would take off, and it's been out for almost 2 years now, and we're selling very, very well. And like I said, we've had a lot of failures along the way, a lot of learning experiences.
Well, if you get it to Central Pennsylvania, I'll buy it. But if you don't mind, a smooth source bourbon finished in the great state of Texas. Think about how far you've come. Think about how many people said you'd fail. The long hours, the grind, the sacrifice, break records, smash goals, chase dreams, fight forever. Bottled by Justice Labels Cereal, Sinton, Texas. Where's Sinton at?
It is between San Antonio and Corpus Christi in South Texas. So the reason why like a lot of people like that drink is because like when you succeed, when you do something that you weren't supposed to do, or people said you couldn't do, or you overcame the odds, there's nothing better to drink than the blood of your enemies.
That's a good way to name something, man.
Right?
Behind that.
And also being a Viking is a double entendre because Vikings like to do that. So the question for you though is, I put out a couple of my moments. What was your moment that whether somebody influential to you, whether it be parents, friends, whatever, Marine Corps, whatever, said that you couldn't do something and you went and you did it?
I mean, there's been a few of those. I would say the furthest back one though that I could really think of off the top of my head that like actually did come to something. And there was a lot before that, but like I had a fucked up abusive fucking whatever on mom's side, whatever. But so I told my family I was joining the Marines. Like Fallujah was like still on TV. And like it was like a week before I graduated it was right after I graduated high school, because it was like my graduation fucking party or whatever. And my family that was relevant was fucking there. And then like everybody got pissed off and fucking left. Like stood up from the table and fucking left, which was weird because like I come from a military family anyway. So you'd think, hey, what's up? But then again, they were all most of them were, Air Force in the fucking 70s and 80s. So, I mean, I guess it's a little bit different when your kid wants to join while, Fallujah's on fucking TV. Except for my Uncle Pat, who I don't remember what the fuck he was doing at the time, but he was an F-18 pilot. I don't remember. He went to a couple places after this, but he ended up, when he retired, he was the OPSO of the Atlantic Fleet. But he was like, oh, you're joining the military. Oh, let's talk about this. Oh, and that's a naval branch. You're not going Air Force like the rest of these people. But like after that, my dad, like when he finally, fucking unheated cooled off, whatever. Fucking, he's like, hey, let's go for a walk. I'm like, all right, well, I'll go on a walk with my dad. You know, fucking talk about shit. And he's like, why do you want to join the Marines? I'm like, because there's like 2 fucking wars going on right now. Why the fuck wouldn't I want to join the Marines? He's like, well, why don't you go like be like a aircraft mechanic? I'm like, have you seen the fucking TV? And he's like, well, why don't you go do, you know, there's like other jobs, right? You don't have to join the Marines. And I'm like, but they're on TV right now. Apparently, so there's this thing in Marine Corps boot camp called the Crucible, which is like your final testing event or fucking whatever. And if you haven't been, it's like this, like some people equate it with like Hell Week for SEALs for some reason. I don't know why, because it's fucking not. All it is just doing obstacle courses for 2 or 3 days, and you get like 8 hours of sleep and 4 MREs over the course of 3 days while you're doing obstacle courses the whole time. But I was in boot camp afterwards, and it was like, hey, right home, hey, I did this, whatever. And then like I got a bunch of letters, and it was like, hey, I didn't think you were gonna make it past that. Holy shit, yeah, we'll come to your graduation. I didn't think you were gonna make it through boot camp though. And it's like,
it's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, not to be a dick, but
right.
Like, why were you just shit about fucking not joining the Marines if you didn't think I was going to make it past step 1?
Yeah, they didn't think you're that kind of material. Well, that's crazy. I the only, obviously being Army, the only base training I know is the Army one. But I always tip my hat to anybody who gets through any of that stuff. And I've heard of the Crucible from my Marine friends. I just heard it was not fun. That's all I've ever heard about it.
Yeah. It's not fun when you're a fucking 18, 19-year-old. What the fuck is going on? In hindsight, like if you compare it to any time you've ever like actually been to the field, it's like
Got you. It's crazy that you're talking about watching Fallujah on TV. I was in Iraq when Fallujah was going on. I wasn't in Fallujah though. I'll make it very clear. I was more north, but I remember when all that was going on, and it was a really tense time. And it was crazy that you were just watching it on TV at home. Sam FFC asked about getting it down to Pendleton. We are actually close to getting it in California, and we're looking at the San Diego area. So when I get that trip, I can get a hold of him. If you can help me with that, we'll let him know.
Yeah, well, I mean that'd be a good business though, like because I mean if you got it like even just at the liquor store like on Pendleton or even fucking 29 Palms, and as long as you put like veteran owned on the fucking bottle or whatever, they'd be like, so what do I want to drink tonight? Blood of my enemies. What's that about? Oh, Army guy. Well, Army guy, not us, right? But yeah, we'll give it a shot, and then it'll probably stay out of stock.
I was actually scouting that because I was trying to figure out when we get in California where we're going to go, and I looked at 29 Palms, and there ain't shit out there, man. Like there's a few like mom and pop liquor stores, but they're surrounded by vastly nothing. San Diego though,
No.
my Pendleton.
If you can get it at the PX and 29 Palms, like it'd be gone. Just by virtue of there's nowhere else to get alcohol, and the PX is like close to where the barracks are, so
got you.
Barracks, get something, bounce. And then even if everything else is sold out, well, fuck it, this is here.
Got you. Well, it's definitely, I'll tell you this, it is high on my list, getting around the San Diego area. And was it San Diego area? It was 29 Palms. And then there was a place, it's more by San Francisco. I think it was a big Air Force and Coast Guard place. Those are 3 places we're looking to break into. But yeah, so it is on the to-do list. We're hopefully we get that locked down next couple months, but we are working it. Lefty Junior Gaming says we love it in 29. Yeah, we will. I will try to get it there.
Yeah, that in 29 Palms is, oh God, I fucking love 29 Palms. So I'm gonna romanticize this a little bit and like tell you a tale a little bit.
Does it hold the branding iron in San Bernardino?
Yeah. Well, no, not even that. So 29 Palms is out in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's fucking nothing to do there. There are a few places to go to that are like off the beaten path. Like if anybody watching in 29 Palms, there's a place called Pappy and Harriet's. It's on the other side of Yucca Valley. It's kind of like a basement bar type thing, but they always have live music, and the live music is extremely varied. Like sometimes it's some local band, or it could be Paul McCartney. Like I saw Paul McCartney there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he also wasn't announced. He just like showed up with the band, and then they're like, "Hey, we're this random band," and it's like, that's not random. That's Paul McCartney. What the fuck is going on there? or it was like this band couldn't show or whatever. But for the most part, like 29 Palms is cool because, you know, Los Angeles is 2 or 3 hours away and Las Vegas is like 2 or 3 hours away. But if you don't want to drive 2 or 3 hours to go have fun, you stay at the barracks and get fucked up with everyone else that's staying at the barracks and getting fucked up. Like there's 24/7, 365 a fucking barracks party fucking going on there. And because 29 Palms kind of sucks, nobody gives a shit what the fuck you're doing. I remember one time fucking there was this fucking dude being a fucking drunk bitch out in the fucking smoke deck, which by the way, like we started a fire in because fuck it.
Is smoke deck like a smoking pit area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like right by the barracks. You know, fucking, you know, started a fucking fire in it. Like some of the barracks have fire pits though, but anyway, this dude gets like fucked up and belligerent, and then like I tell this dude I'm gonna beat his ass if he doesn't show up. Or if he doesn't shut up. So he goes and gets the barracks duty saying that I'm threatening him. So the barracks duty comes out and it's this like scrawny fucking twink dude. And I told the barracks duty, hey, listen, you're going to take this dude to his fucking room and keep him in his room or I'm going to beat your ass. I kind of got blackout drunk after that. And I don't really remember what happened next. But when I came out of the blackout, I had that dude in a headlock and the officer of the day was punching him in the face. So
him in the face, not you.
Yeah, him in the face, not me. Not quite sure what happened in the middle ground. But, I mean,
okay, fun. I know I had not heard about 10 pounds of C4 missing at 29 Palms. That's crazy. But we don't speak about that C4.
Yeah, no, what I'm sure happened with that though is fucking somebody just blew it up because they didn't want to fucking like turn it back in, and then it didn't do the fucking paperwork for it. And then when you're like, hey, where's this at? I don't know. I didn't like not do the right stuff on it. Somebody must have stole it.
We're gonna play a game called Everybody Be Cool. Right on.
Or if not, that C4s with 3.6s fucking rifles.
Oh, that has been an interesting thing because that's been over a year now since those rifles have disappeared and no progress on that. True story on that. I'll share this. When I was in Iraq, I was in Tripp, and it was January. No, it's a lie. It was July of 2004, and we were in one of Saddam's palaces, MWR castle shit situation, and
MWR out of his fucking palace.
Yeah, they did.
Boss.
Yeah. And when we were leaving, they were CID, which is like NCIS for the Army. It's and MPs and all stuff were looking because apparently a Humvee was stolen, and we're like, how the fuck can a Humvee get stolen like off of this base? It doesn't make sense to me.
Like if you had the keys locked up, right?
Yeah, we can go with that. Yeah. So anyway, nobody could find it. Whatever. Like when APOs went to all the bases and all that stuff, looking out for this Humvee. I still never get why they even tried. Whatever. I left in February. I'm sorry, March of 2005. February of 2005, and one of our last visits there, we were at that same place, NWR tent, and there was a crane in the lake by us, and it was pulling out that Humvee that was stolen. And we didn't come to the conclusion. We asked around, and it was kind of brought to the attention that somebody was leaving and then dropped an anonymous hint that, hey, that Humvee that was stolen, you may want to look in this lake. And there it was. So I don't know if somebody's like, fuck the Army and like drove it in there, or someone forgot to put it in out of neutral or whatever. But that always, like, them bringing out that fucking Humvee in the middle of that lake just always makes me chuckle. Like somebody's like, ain't my problem right now, homie. Like, I'm going home. Fuck this.
That's kind of fucking glorious. I want to know how that fucking happened. Also, anybody that ever hears this in the future, I don't care if you're watching this right now or if you find this on iTunes in 20 fucking years. If you're the Humvee person, we need to talk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely listen to that one. There's some questions. Hey, how you holding up in that bottle?
Not too bad. I'm not too far into it. I'm only like about an inch away from the label.
Good. So you've had it mixed and you've had it straight. So like overall, do you give it thumbs up? And is it not your thing? Like it won't hurt my feelings either way.
I would buy it.
I didn't hear you. You would buy it?
I would buy it.
Nice score. Right.
So I used to really love Jack Daniels, but again, I turned 30 and Jack Daniels stopped liking me back. So I don't have like a good go-to dark whiskey. So like normally if I drink whiskey, I'm drinking Jameson because it agrees with me, and like I'm half Scotch Irish, so like it's kind of like in the blood anyway. But I don't have a good dark whiskey to go to. Like I really like Johnny Walker, but I don't have my wallet does not like Johnny Walker.
That's fair.
And then like Cuddy Sark is okay, I guess, like if they don't have JMO. But yeah, no, like I would keep that on my shelf.
So what I tell people is when people who have never had it ask what the palate is similar to, I try to I wanted to make sure it was in the same palate as Bullet Bourbon. So if you like Bullet Bourbon, you'll like my stuff. If Bullet Bourbon isn't for you,
maybe a little bit more well known, because like I've never had Bullet Bourbon, so I couldn't give you.
Oh, you haven't had Bullet Bourbon? Oh shit. Bullet's actually a pretty well known one.
I mean, it's got a good, strong, rye-ish smell.
Yeah, it does, and I'm proud of that. I'm glad you caught that, because that was one thing I wanted that kind of smell to it, because I like that smell.
Yeah.
Also so if Bullet is yours, I'm sorry, I'm just lost in thought here. The other one that I've heard it compared to was Jim Beam 5-year.
Okay, yeah, no, I could see it being compared to Jim Beam.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It doesn't have that nasty backbite Jim Beam does, though.
I was honestly adamant about not having that backbite. That was one of my biggest things. Because that was one of the things with what I have with Jack, is that it just has a bite that I don't like to it. But anyway, so those are the two. And also, if you're a novice bourbon drinker and you're just kind of either getting a collection or maybe you're gifting this, my stuff retails for a little under $40, so it's not that big of an investment. If you have, like, to put in perspective, there's some bottles like Pappy Van Winkle and stuff like that go for a couple $100s a bottle.
Yeah.
If you're a connoisseur, that's great. But if you're just starting out, or you want a good gift for like a veteran or whatever, this is way less than that, and it will be enjoyed. So I like telling people about that, because a lot of people have a lot of questions when it comes to bourbon and whiskeys and stuff like that, and I like kind of helping them out with that. Yes, I've heard that acronym before. I don't know what it stands for, though.
We'll go into that in a second.
Okay.
So this has a good. Give me one more second.
Yeah, do your thing.
It's got a good under the tongue tingle.
Good.
Without fucking up your uvula.
Good. Very good.
If that makes sense. And Yat Yaz can mean one or two things. So that belongs to Trax, the amphibious assault vehicle guys. The guys that so you have the amphibious assault vehicle. You put it on a ship, comes out of the ship, goes onto the beach, Marines get out the back.
Okay.
And it's commonly referred to as Trax. Now, Yat Yaz, if you're in Trax, stands for you ain't Trax, you ain't shit.
Okay.
The rest of the Marine Corps, it's you are Trax, you are shit.
Awesome.
Trackers love you guys. These fucking things. They're so bad.
That's awesome.
From what I understand, they got new ones, or at least updated them or some shit. Because when I was doing this shit, when I was on my Mew, ship deployment, we were on these vehicles that were made like to go to Vietnam, but then didn't get built until Vietnam was done with, and then they never fucking updated the fucking things. And there was always something fucking broke. So like imagine a tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
But instead of it being, flat with a turret, it was just like tall and wide. And there was a troop compartment in the back. Almost imagine like a Bradley's or a Stryker that's
Okay.
there for nothing besides moving troops around. Like there's a machine gun on top, right? Okay. But for whatever reason, everyone that I was ever in, the exhaust system was fucking broke, and instead of the exhaust going out the fucking tailpipe, it went into the fucking crew compartment. That was supposed to be, waterproof, but one of the things I like to do to fuck with you is like when it runs out the back of the fucking ship, it sinks like 20 feet before it comes back up, and it starts flooding, and everybody freaks the fuck out because you're like, oh my god, no, we're all gonna die, except for like the person that like the fucking crew chief is not the right word. But it conveys my point. The person who like fucking like is the troop compartment like guy in the back who's just like laughing his ass off. It's like, hey, you think this is bad? You should see what happens when we don't have Marines in the back. But yeah,
you were tracks, you were shit. Oh, that's funny.
or is it new LAVs? LAVs might be new. Fucking. I haven't been keeping up too much because like I know that the Marines, we got rid of artillery and tanks, and that's going to be like an army responsibility now because whenever we invade China, like we're not going to need artillery or tanks, and the army can do that. But
it's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hey, so I want to pick your brain on this. So when the script for the movie is done, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if we're gonna self-produce the movie or sell it. I'd prefer to sell it so it can get done right because I've never made a film before, and I want to make sure because this, given that it's like give and take, and this is honestly just a tangent. This isn't where I'm going with this question, but it's like I want to trust somebody to tell the story to help veterans, but at the same time, Hollywood is a really difficult sell to get them to portray veterans the way that I want them to be portrayed, right? They're just have their own agenda. I'll say it like that, financial and otherwise. So I'm trying to figure out that. But one of the things I'm going to do is I'm working on doing I guess you say audiobook or like old timey radio show or story podcast, however you want to describe it these days. On this kind of topic, I told you in my last interview for the new listeners here that one of the things with Valhalla Club is Valhalla Club's like a couple different things. We're doing a comic book, we're doing the movie, and we're going to move forward with this audio production. And it's going to have actors professionally done, stuff like that. There's going to be some money into it. It's going to be like I think a 10 or 20 part saga. Each part is an hour long. With you having authored when this is when it get done, you'll have 9 books. Have you ever thought about bringing your characters to life in that kind of similar environment, doing something like this? Because think about it, if you did that, I could buy it, and when I'm traveling through Texas or across the country, I could just listen to that shit, all day long.
I have, and I've weighed a few different options on it. Like I don't want to shell out the cash to have someone else for me. I do want to make it myself. I just haven't really had the time to do it because it'd be very time intensive, and I have all the equipment to do it with which to do it. So there's not really an excuse for me not to do it myself. And from what I've gotten from other people that have read my stuff, they've all said that they've wanted me to do it instead of hiring somebody else to do the voice work on it. But one of the things I would want to do with that is have different characters or different people playing different characters,
right?
And Stockton is very much lively. I don't know if he means Stockton, California, or the character Stockton from my books. Which, one of the things I would want to do is like have like at least 4 or 5 different male and female actors, actresses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Men and women parts. Because like when I'm driving to listen to an audiobook and it's like one dude reading the whole thing, like they get to certain parts and it's like, yes, so Bill came out of the closet and then Cassandra said this. It's like that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I've way back in the day with my kid, we did that with the Harry Potter book on a road trip, and there was a dude named Jim Dale, and he was like Billy West with voices. He could do everything in the gambit, and that was pretty cool. But I've also heard some bad ones. But there was a veteran had wrote one about the zombie apocalypse like 10 years ago, and I can't remember what it's called. I think it was We're Alive or something like that. But it was a full production piece, and with female actors, male actors, everything, and that always stuck with me. And when I started writing this next thing for the Valhalla Club, which is gonna be a little bit more not documentary style, it's gonna be its own separate story dealing with demons and shit. I wanted to do actors, actresses, sound effects, like, give it the whole shebang, because I wanted this to be a really cool thing. But given that you already have the template for that, I was just wondering if that's something you ever considered, because you have the characters, how this is the backdrops, how you want this to be done, audio, video, you got all that shit. So to me, it just seems like it's a no-brainer for you.
Yeah. The only thing that's really holding me back right now is just time, because that's a time fucking intensive thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because if nothing else, you're fucking sitting behind a fucking microphone, trying to get this fucking thing across. And there's this like almost catch-22 with it, where like I had a few beers before we fucking started, because if I am absolutely fucking sober when I talk,
Gotcha.
So I don't want to have to edit that, but at the same time, I want the audio to be what's the opposite of enunciate? Like what the person hears. Like I want it to sound smooth, so like I can't have drank too much and fucking start whipping out the y'all ain'ts instead of what's written down.
Yeah. No, it definitely requires a discipline to get it done. Well, I hope you don't abandon that. I definitely think you got one of the best setups to do something like that, and I feel it'd be great for your brand. So, SFC says a character.
Yeah. So the character Stockton was, I want to say loosely based off of a guy I know named Stockton. But that's not true. Fucking almost everything that character said was word for word something that my buddy Stockton said in real life. Except for like in the book, it's a chick instead of, whatever, or instead of, it being a dude. But like, I even tied in a lot of shit. So like, in the book, they're in a firefight, and Stockton gets shot in the hip, and the bullet wraps around, her leg and comes out her ankle. And in real life, my buddy Stockton was out hunting and holstered his pistol wrong, and it misfired in the holster and went in his hip, wrapped around, and came out his fucking ankle.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The upside of that though was, I don't remember if it was his cousin or his uncle was the sheriff, and they got there first and said, "All right, hey, look, before the state police get here, I'm gonna throw away all the fucking liquor you have, and you guys were sober when this happened. Got it? Wink, wink." And then he was on leave at the time too, and because of the nature of the injury, he couldn't fly home, so he was on convalescent leave for like 4 fucking months.
Jesus, crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Gabe? My friend, one of my friends, Gabriel's joining us. He's been he's crazy. He's a pretty artistic dude, and he's been a big supporter of the Valhalla Club. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I'm curious. After Smokepit Fairy Tales, what's your thing? Are you just focused on that right now?
That I'm focused on that right now for writing, because I got book 9 just about wrapped up. First draft about wrapped up. There's a lot of other work that goes into it after that. But after 7, 8, and 9 are done, I'm gonna do fucking 10, 11, and 12, and then after that, I have a book I want to write called 13 short stories, and it's going to be pretty fucking meta, but it's gonna be about this guy trying to get his book published, and it's just not fucking happening. And he lives on the 13th floor, or he lives in an apartment on the 13th floor, and then like the chapter is gonna be staggered, so like every other chapter is gonna be about him, and then every other chapter is gonna be like one of his short stories. And then at the end of it, this character isn't in my books, but this character writes a book that the characters in the book read. So it's kind of like a fictional author of a fictional book that was read in a fictional fucking whatever. But at the end of the book, the way I'm gonna fucking I'm planning on wrapping it up anyway. And I'm gonna say spoiler alert, but like I'm not gonna write this book for fucking 4 years. So if you guys remember this, then that's on you for that. But what I want to do is, after he's like tried to get his like 13th short story, published, and it just doesn't work, he's gonna be sitting on the balcony, fucking with a letter in his hand, and he doesn't know if it's like a rejection letter or an acceptance letter, but it's going to be the letter for the book that they read in Smokepit Fairy Tales. And he's contemplating on whether or not he should even open the letter or not, because the way down off the balcony is just 13 short stories.
Oh. Shit, it is meta.
Yeah. So like at the end of it, you're like, is this guy going to kill himself or not? What the fuck's going on? And like, I'm not going to answer it in that book, but if you've read my first book, you'll have known that like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, he didn't.
Fuck. I gotta give you credit, man, to have to tie all these stories in. It takes artistic talent, and it also shows that your brain doesn't turn off.
No, it fucking doesn't. And you know what the worst part is I have a fucking notebook that I keep my fucking thoughts or fucking information and shit in, but I don't know why I keep this notebook, because I only ever write in it when I'm too drunk to like write English. So I go back the next day and look at it, and I'm like, okay, so this is a cross between Russian, which I don't speak, ancient Greek, fucking Phoenician characters, which I don't speak, hieroglyphics, which I have no idea what the fuck they mean, and then fuck, I think that might be Swedish.
I mean, Hemingway, wrote a lot when he was drunk, so we can just go with that. You're kind of in the same vein.
Yeah.
Was it right drunk, edit sober?
Yep. Or right drunk, fucking do a different draft sober and have someone else take care of the fucking polish.
Yeah, you could do that too. You could do this. Ah, shit, nice. Oh, there goes mine. So how's the bottle hold up now?
I don't think I've poured anymore since the last time you asked. I think a few sips, but we will remedy that.
No worries.
Actually, while I'm doing this, because fucking I'm half retarded and I put all my goddamn fucking ice in the same glass and it's melted together. What about beer?
What about it?
What about beer?
Are you asking if I like it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I enjoy beer. My favorite, my preferred beer is Shiner Bock. Which is, yeah. But if I'm ever on the East Coast, I like going to Yuengling. That's always a delicious one to have. It's rare because just because not in Texas yet.
Good. I've been meaning to go to the factory is not the right word.
The brewery,
yeah, because it's only fucking about an hour away from here.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, I hear the actual, like, if you go there, it's like one of those things where it's like find something else to do that day, because you're gonna have a really cool 3 hours. But if you drive across the street to fucking do it, then find something else to do while you're here just to fill the day.
Huh. I say the same thing about Waco. People come to all around to Waco because of Chip and Joanna, the fixer-upper people. I don't know if you ever into home restoration. They were huge for a very long time, and people set aside a week to come see Waco, and I'm like, why? Like seriously, they go and see something else. Waco, you can see in 3 hours. You're done, and there's no nightlife here. There ain't no sports teams. Like fucking, I don't get it. It seems like that's kind of a similar situation.
Okay, two things. First off, same SFC. The answer, if you got Stockton to send me something to sign, would I sign it? Yes. Talk to Stockton on that. B, this is giving me a really good warmth, not in my cheeks, but like almost under my eyes.
Okay.
Like like up here, as opposed to like normally I get the warmth burns things in my jowls. This is nice and like almost in the sinuses.
You remind me of Tommy Boy, where you're like, not so much here or here, but right here.
Mhm.
That big ass burst.
Yeah. But yeah, back to what we were talking about. So one of the drivers for my first deployment, he got out and he's a sheriff in whatever county Waco's in. So I stopped there on my way. This is like a week after that last Houston story. And we go out, have a few drinks, party a little bit. And all I did while I was there was give him shit about fucking Waco.
Yeah, Waco's it's its own thing, man. It's its own thing. That's why I could. They got some good people. They got some stuff to do. It's good if you want to raise a family, but
it's pretty small town America.
Yeah, it is. I will say it is growing, but it's still very small town America. But I mean, I'll be honest. The people here are nice, so I mean that's always grateful because I live in Chicago, live in LA for a little bit. Both those have just assholes for peoples, and so it's nice to be in a nicer spot with people.
Wait, are you in Waco now?
Yes.
All right. Well, if you get pulled over by a guy named Knopf, fuck, I can't spell it. Knopf. It's spelled weird, but be like, hey, I'm Tripp's friend, and he told me not to tell you to not give me a ticket, and he's going to. But you guys might have a fun conversation on the in between.
What's his first name?
Blake.
I'm gonna guess it's Knoff.
Something similar to that.
I think I may have run across him.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's right. That was one thing I was going to catch you up on. So when we first had a discussion, I was in Colorado. I was in Denver, and there was a crazy situation that involved with my kids. So I had to come back to Texas, and so relocated. And I've been here for a couple months. So I'll be here for a while. My son is about to start high school, so I'm going to be here now for at least till he gets through high school. So then we'll see where fate takes me.
Well, I mean, fucking throw up the fucking sails and ride the wind, man.
I do that, but Waco keeps bringing me fucking back. I've left 3 times. Oh well, it is what it is. I can make do. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, did you watch that Wanda Vision yet?
No, I haven't. I recently got the password to one of my buddies' versions of Discovery Plus, so the wife and I have been binge watching Ghost Adventures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, I hear good things about WandaVision though.
I liked it. It's interesting because I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's like it's all perspective. A lot of it is perspective. Yeah. But it was a good. If you've seen the Marvel movies, it is a good tie-in between 3 of them. I'll say it like that.
All right.
So it's. I mean, it's not a hard watch at all, and they don't. I mean, they invest into the story, so it was a good watch. My kids liked it. I liked it. Would I watch it like over and over again, like I do with like Futurama? No, but it's good. It's a good watch.
Futurama was a fucking show before its fucking time too.
Very before its time, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I'm writing, that's one of those shows that I'll put on in the background so I can just zone out and just have it on there. It was. I want to say there was like other staff writers, like 7 of them had PhDs, 11 had master's degrees or something like that. And
like I don't get a lot of the background jokes because apparently they do a thing where it's like you have the surface level joke, but that surface level joke is always like 5 layers deep. But to get past layer 2, you have to actually understand physics, not just like have a read up on it on Wikipedia.
I have heard that they actually have like math joke, like actual mathematical equation jokes and physics jokes and all that shit. I'm not even going to try to look at that, but
yeah. Like I have watched like hour-long YouTube videos that try to explain it, and I'm like, I'm just going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say cool, I'm not going to try to understand what the fuck you're talking about right now.
Yeah. What do you have on in the background when you're being creative?
It depends on what I'm doing. So if I'm writing, for whatever I am writing, I normally have a 2 to 3 hour like playlist in iTunes that I put together of music that like kind of fits the mood for what I'm writing.
Mm-hmm.
Like actually, if you go to my fucking YouTube, like there's like playlists on fucking whatever for like each book for like what the and fucking final, you know, not my playlist, but what I was listening to when I wrote it. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
It can be changed up though. Like if I'm painting or drawing or doing like visual art, either I will. So like on YouTube, fucking History Channel like puts on a lot of their shit. So like I'll put on like Ancient Aliens or some fucking like documentary about like Canadian snipers in fucking World War II, or just some like random fucking like documentary fucking shit. Or I have a half decent record collection, or I'll throw in a fucking vinyl and just fucking zone out while I'm fucking throwing painted shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, it depends on what I'm fucking doing. And then if I'm doing like video work, whatever the soundtrack is just me streaming it the fucking computer. And yeah, fucking that is all what it is. But anyway, fucking you were saying you listen to fucking Futurama when you write most of the time. Is it just Futurama, or is it just like some random like TV show that you've seen a million times where like you can like laugh at the jokes but you don't have to pay attention to?
Yeah, it's it'd be shit. Yeah, it'd be Futurama and like American Dad would probably be the two that I can just do that. I don't really watch too much TV, to be quite honest with you.
I feel you on that.
But then I'll also I'll do the soundtrack thing. I got a shit ton of vinyl myself, and I'll put on something like that depending on my mood and try to get in the zone with that, or throw on a podcast or two.
Podcasts are good for that too. Yeah. I can't keep up with that with writing just because like I need something to zone out to.
Mm-hmm.
Like podcasts, I usually want to pay attention to what they're saying with. So that's if I'm like painting, got it for that. But not so much writing. But
yeah, with a podcast. So with the podcast. I'll do it like this. I'll go to older episodes when I got to zone out. The new ones I can't do it because I'm too engaged. But yeah, that's a good. I don't know. It's just stuff like that I've noticed helps me more and more as I try to get more and more creative. Do you have any more paintings coming out? Any more of your?
Yes, but I can't talk about them right now. I got this really fucking cool one that I'm working on, and I really wish I could show it off. However, I'm making it for someone as a commission who watches this podcast.
Okay.
And they want to be surprised when they see it.
Okay.
So I can't really show it off until after I, give it to them. But on that though, I know you got to go. Can you tell the people where we can find you? Like fucking completely pimp yourself out, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate it. You can find the bourbon on Facebook at Blood of My Enemies Bourbon. Instagram, we are Blood of My Enemies Bourbon. Twitter, we are Bome, BOME Bourbon. And if we try to put out there where we're at. We have a website too, bloodofmyenemiesbourbon.com. It has all of our places in this great state of Texas where we're at. We are trying very hard to get in other states. We've been getting a lot of requests. Please email us or contact us if you want us in your state, because it's easier for us to go to distributors and say, I've gotten 15 requests, to get my stuff in this state. Can you help us out? Can we work something out? So hopefully we'll get it in more and more. We're trying very hard. And if you do get it, please, I always love getting pictures with the stuff, and I always love getting feedback, good or bad. Sometimes people, it's just not their thing. Totally cool. No harm, no foul, no worries. But if you love it, I love to hear about it. It's been a very fun passion project, and it's been years in the making. And so, I like to interact with people about it.
That and everybody should go watch the Valhalla Club on Amazon Prime.
That is true. The Valhalla Club documentary on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, it is free, and it's only like a 42-minute documentary, and it's all about helping veterans with PTSD. That's a big thing of mine, and I love it when I get to interact with other veterans who are creative, which is one of the reasons I love going on this particular podcast. And I haven't forgotten that I am going to buy. I'm going to buy your book, your ammo case, when I can concentrate and read books. But it is high on my to-do list.
All right, gotcha.
But you have to autograph it though.
Oh no, dude, no, absolutely. That's part of the package. But anyway, thank you very much for being here. We all love you, and we'll talk at you in the future.
I'm very humbled. The honor is all mine. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you soon, bro.